We are so close to the start of Euro 2024. Let's talk England starting 11s. I'll give you mine. You give me yours in the comments. And we'll speculate on what Gareth Southgate's preferred 11 might be to start and hopefully finish this tournament. Let's get straight in with what I would call the definites. And you've got to raise your hand in the comments if you don't have any of these four players in your system, whether it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. I'm betting most of you lot and Gareth Southgate are going to have Jordan Pickford in goal. He seems to be the clear first choice keeper. Kyle Walker at right back. Declan Rice in central midfield. We'll come on to his partner shortly. And Harry Kane up top. I think they're the most nailed on starters, the kind of big players in form, always deliver for England, never let Southgate down. And I think they're the definites. You let me know if you think different. Let's try and finish off the back four alongside them, which isn't necessarily going to be the first choice or what we expected it to be going into the tournament. And as I said, we'll talk about the team that starts the tournament. The team that finishes the tournament may be a bit different, but that is how I imagine the team will start the tournament. And the big thing, I guess, is injury. We're not expecting Luke Shaw to be in from day one. So I've got Kieran Trippier at left back. We've all got our fingers crossed here that John Stones is going to be in from day one. We feel we're going to be pretty screwed if he's not. No offence to the other centre halves. But I'd imagine it's going to be John Stones and Mark Gay. There's Ezri Konsa, Joe Gomez and Lewis Dunk as well. I don't suspect we'll see the fabled 3-5-2 of Gareth Southgate, but you could also tuck Kyle Walker in if you go to 3. I don't see it being that way. That's how I think things will kick off. And we just hope John Stones is fit. Right, let's talk about really what's probably the key spot in the England team, which defines really a lot of what goes on ahead of it. Who will Gareth Southgate partner with Declan Rice in central midfield? I put out a poll this morning. It's only been up a couple of hours when I've screenshotted it, but you can see a very, very clear leader. Who would you partner with Declan Rice in central midfield for England against Serbia? 52% say Jude Bellingham, followed by 22% saying Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kobe Mainoo with 11%, Conor Gallagher and Adam Wharton are bringing up the rear there with 8% and 7%. You can go and have a vote on that. It might have changed since I screenshotted it. But the point here is, do you use Jude Bellingham up a bit further in the 10 position and just let the four up top go and do the damage and have someone in midfield, either Trent, as that poll, kind of intimates, someone who can sit in there and use the ball and keep the ball, but, okay, Trent crosses, set plays, switches of plays, brilliant, but he's not going to be scoring you goals unless it's a set play. Or, say, a Conor Gallagher or a Kobe Mainoo, who might be a presser in central midfield, and just trust Bellingham, that Bellingham's going to be in the team, trust him elsewhere. Or do you put Jude Bellingham in, free up another attacking position further up the pitch and say, well, okay, you might not have the assurances, but particularly in the group phase, assurances defensively, can Rice and Bellingham not cope as a pair? And Bellingham can be the 8 and Rice can be the 6. Is international football still as pragmatic as it once was? You lot don't think so. So I'm going to go with you lot and stick Jude Bellingham in, particularly in the group phases, into central midfield there with Declan Rice. That's going to be the big one. Go and vote in the poll. Get your thoughts in via the comments. And a quick little pause for the cause for Beer 52 if you want to get involved, particularly ahead of Father's Day and ahead of the Euros. Get the beers in with Beer 52. You can have one of those boxes over my shoulder there for free You got to pay the postage though, £5.95. A beautiful selection of 8 craft beers, or you can get dark beers if that floats your boat. You get some bar snacks, you can see them as well. Copy of Ferment magazine. You cover the postage, £5.95. They send you the box for free. All you got to do, www.beer52, that's a 5 and a 2, let me get my hand in shot, beer52.com/bloom. www.beer52.com/bloom. Right. I've gone for the option that leaves me a potential extra attacking talent, particularly in the groups. I know I keep saying those words. In the 3 off the front. Who are our choices here? Gordon, Foden, Eze, Bellingham, Saka, Palmer, Bowen. I would do that. Bukayo Saka is pretty much a definite down the front right. Phil Foden, this is the dilemma, isn't it? Do you put Bellingham in there, who can drop in as the number 8 and make your midfield of 3? Foden, I guess, could do that. Foden can do everything pretty much, can't he? But he's been playing number 10 for Manchester City, hasn't he? And jolly effectively, I think we'd all agree. Anthony Gordon, I'm kind of I'm half Southgate's pick and half my pick here. Gordon was in the Iceland game. I just think Eze plus Foden, I just think that's 2 players who want to be the number 10, and it's a bit more, it's a bit less balanced, isn't it? Whereas if you have Foden as the 10 and 2 players who are wide players like Foden, direct, get in there, get shots, get crosses, get goals, get assists. Whereas Eze, we know, he likes to drift, he likes to glide, he likes to be the main man. So that's why I've gone for that particular 11. Now, get yours in the comments. There is the issue that the team that starts the tournament is never the team that finishes the tournament. We know this. I did raise the question, is international football as pragmatic as it once was? I don't know. I feel that Gareth Southgate thinks it is. And I feel that Gareth Southgate has studied intensely what has worked for the winners of previous tournaments. And let's be fair, it's been experience, it's been the ability to defend, it's been pragmatism in the knockouts, and the ability to win on penalties when you need to. So, I wonder, and I'm just throwing it out there, is this more like the team that finishes the tournament? You can see at left back, Luke Shaw is presumably fit there, so he comes in for Trippier, which is better for your balance, even though Trippier is decent enough on his left foot. Then, do you have a midfield 3? You've got Rice, Bellingham and Trent, and again, we're just so unsure whether that's Trent, Mayhew, Gallagher, Wharton, etc. I'll go with Trent on the basis he's got the number 8 shirt, and in a situation where you do have to drop back and defend, he's a blooming right back by trade, isn't he? So that does leave you without a number 10 and Foden presumably over to the left. But if you're playing the midfield 3, then can the fullbacks get further forward? Luke Shaw and Foden can drift in with the assurance that there's 3 players in central midfield behind at all times. So I'm just throwing it out there, and that team's not going to start the tournament because of Luke Shaw, but we might see something like that. Move Bellingham forward into the 10, stick Trippier in. That seems to be the possibly the pragmatist choice, and Southgate ever the pragmatist, we think. Whereas the populist choice, let me just scroll back to my one, does seem to be this, particularly for starting the tournament. Starters and finishers, the ones I always bring up, famously Brazil, 2002, it was Juninho and Gilberto through the groups. Soon as they got into the knockouts, Gilberto and Kleberson, so it was 2 holders, Juninho out. And yes, before you get in the comments, that was with Cafu and Roberto Carlos as the 2 fullbacks, and Rivaldo, Ronaldo and Ronaldinho up top. I'm just saying, even a great Brazilian strike force like that needed some assurance behind them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That is my England 11 for the start and possibly the end of Euro 2024.